Watopian Weekly. You should listen to it every week because I'm gonna listen to it. Yay!
Welcome to Watopian Weekly, Season 4, Episode 3, the podcast for Zwifters, cyclists, and everyone else. Each week we are here to discuss all things Zwift, life, and beyond. And my name is Dustin. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. The YouTube sensation. I laughed when I wrote this, but sorry, I should have said. Anyway, the dude that covers moves like sour cream on a baked potato. I don't know. I was hungry when I wrote it. The Vortex Strongman. The Zypher Ladder Taskmaster, which is, this is a perfect reminder to make sure that you get in your availabilities. Right, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Here he is, Josh! Woo! Hey, Josh.
Hey, Dustin.
Oh,
got
man.
the guitar on. You're doing really well with the guitar today. Really rocking out.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Oh, I'm excited, and here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest. The guy who's responsible for tons of people getting fast, both in Watopia and around the globe. The owner and operator of FasCat Coaching, the big cat himself, Coach Frank! Woo! Coach Frank, how are you doing?
Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Great. It's so fun to be here with y'all.
Oh, man, thank you so much for doing this and taking time out of your busy schedule for this. This is awesome, man. I'm excited. Well, I'm easily excited, but I'm very excited for you. Thank you for doing this, man. This is awesome.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So as we got into the introduction here, I mean, this is a special episode for us. We're going to be talking about training, about why it's important, how we should be using it, how we're getting better, how I'm getting faster, and that is a perfect segue into what we have to talk about for a weekly catch up here. So. And at this point, we're just talking about what we did, and we have to. We're recording this on a Wednesday, so this is the day after ZRL. And I'll let Josh go first. Why don't you talk about your race, Josh? Because you guys were racing with Vortex in B2, right? Is that right?
Yeah, B2.
All right.
Man, it was a doozy. Road to Ruins reverse.
Yes.
Tough 2 sets of climbs. Going on tired legs. I think that was race 3 in a row.
Yes. Yeah. I think I wonder if Coach Frank maybe wants to talk about eventually about is it possible to race too much and not train at all? I mean, we could probably talk about that, right?
Yeah, definitely. When you say 3 in a row, like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m.
No. It's a back
Sunday,
to back.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, and yeah, I think the legs were a bit noodly. By that time, so probably not the most advised thing to do. Recovery would be nice, and I'm racing again tonight.
Yeah.
Too, so.
But
a little too much of a good thing, but
yeah.
Anyway, to get to the point, it was 2 really steep hills. People were smashing it, and made it over the first one just fine. Faded to the second group in the second climb, and kind of finished a little bit ahead of mid pack. But Lewis,
Oh,
big time Lewis, pulling in the dub.
Yeah.
At the end there, so he won the race overall. Huge accomplishment to win a ZRL race, especially in B, since he just catted up not too long ago. So that was
which I can't believe, because Lewis is he's just been improving. He is also a FasCat athlete. He's been working on FasCat and everything, and he's yet another success story. I mean, man, it's just it's awesome.
Just a massive performance. So I saw at the end of the race, basically every number that you want to see go up went up. FTP bump, velo rating bump, everything. So huge performance.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I raced the same course. I raced in C2 with Epiphany last night. We're both on Coalition, and this is not a Coalition only podcast. We just happen to be on the same team. But yeah. So but if anybody's looking to join a team, Coalition's a great team. Anyway, but I raced in C2 and with Epiphany, and we were doing pretty well. The pack, the rollout was really subdued this time. Usually. It's just like what it has on the Coach Cat on the openers, or not the openers, the starting and everything, like the simulations and everything, where you're putting out like 300 watts, maybe 400 watts for the start, just for maybe maybe first minute or something, or 30 seconds to a minute, possibly, just until they settle down. So that's exactly right on. But this time it was a pretty neutral rollout. How was that for you, Josh?
Yeah, nothing too crazy, because I think everyone knew what they were in for the first two climbs when everyone's dropping watt bombs. So
yeah, and then and we just kept on going with the pace and everything, and I was proud of myself because thanks to the Coach Cat training, of course, or the FasCat training, that I know where my zones are and where I've been where I can stay, I guess, if that makes sense. So I knew that I was at sweet spot and I was okay. I was able to stay there for a long time and attack when I needed to attack. And then I'm super proud because I got 6th last night out of 70.
Oh yeah, that's a big, big time performance.
Yeah. For me, I mean, last week I got 21st, and and I've been hitting the training harder, and last week was different because it was a points race. So I got some points later on too, which we don't really need to talk about that. But I also got some sprint points. Well, no big deal. But but being able to do that and get to the end and also put in a sprint, I hit 700 watts at the end, which that's pretty unheard of for me. I mean, usually my top is like 200, 202, but
especially at the end of a brutal race. So.
They like that. So I was super happy about that, and I have to attribute a lot of that to the training I've been doing. So and that was one of the reasons to get you on here, Coach Frank. And but before we do that, we should ask you how your week's been going. What have you been doing?
Let's see. So, well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
We did a Zwift group ride this past Saturday. We had close to 100 people show up from all over the world, mostly athletes that are either coached by some of the FasCat coaches or they're on the Coach Cat app. And the way that this group ride has evolved is we have a lot of athletes doing their base this time of year, and they're assigned to do long sweet spot base rides on Saturdays. And, it was blizzarding in Boulder. It was cold all over the world, it seemed like. So a lot of people were indoors, and we just called this group ride, Coach Jake and I, and we were like, yeah, just 2 hours. We're going to do sweet spot pace. We had an A and a B and a C group, and we had the Discord going, in-game chat, and it was super fun. We got really great training in, and I pretty much finished smoked by the end, because you start off really hot and you just hang on and ride as hard as you can until the end. And yeah, because there's guys like Coach Jake in there that are like super fast. So, it breaks up. But yeah, my week was great. I'm also lifting weights in the gym. I'm in the hypertrophy phase, which is like medium weight, high rep. So and that's my week mostly.
Yeah, sounds like a fun group ride though.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
Awesome.
We're doing it again. We created this series. This is the first time we've done it. So we've always done a Thursday nighter. And most folks raise their hands and say, oh, that time doesn't work for me. So we added a Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and more people can attend that way. And plus you can ride longer because it's the weekend and it's less pressure trying to squeeze it in. And we would be doing that outside if we could ride outside. Anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Too much snow here.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. We've got no snow here. It's 40 and beautiful outside. It's awesome.
Wow.
I mean, we thought about doing some gravel rides. I got a text from somebody today, like, hey, gravel ride today. And I can't today, but yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so that's great. And those rides I've yet to make one because I have had something like every single time that we've had something or that's happened. But it should be, I should be there soon. So that's going to be awesome. So
yeah. Just, join you probably have joined the FasCat Club in the Zwift Companion app. That's all it takes, and you'll get the notifications and stuff.
Yeah. And the Discord has been lighting up. I don't know, but people have been talking on the Discord because I asked like a question, and then there's like no channels there, and then Z-Dog put it in there, I think so. Yeah, put it in there. So anyway, it's and we have to have him on to talk about Sweatfest too eventually too, because he does a
Z-Dog is great. Y'all know Z-Dog?
Yeah, just from that. Yeah, so
okay.
And Sweatfest is an awesome racing series. If people haven't done that, it's kind of run at the same time as ZRL, so some people can't always do that. But and there was like I believe there's a chicken involved in that too, so a rubber chicken. So yeah. All right, you have to ask Z-Dog about it. But yeah, so all right. Well, do you mind if we jump right in, Coach Frank? All right. Okay, cool. All right. So we're talking a lot about the FasCat training, and there's different ways to do this. We have with using the app or the AI coach or a live coach and stuff like that too. And we are gonna delve into that, but if you wouldn't mind giving people a little bit of your background, and I know people can just Google this, and if they want to, but you're a professional racer, or you were. I'm sorry, but you've got degrees in this and everything. Would you mind just giving us a little bit of background, please?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been a professional cycling coach for 23 years now. Before that, I was a molecular biologist. I worked in biotechnology. And before that, I was in research academics. I was working in a spinal cord research lab at the Bowman Gray School of Medicine in North Carolina. Along the way, I never really, I discovered mountain bikes during graduate school. I got my degree in physiology, what makes the body work. And during those 2 years, I really discovered the mountain bike. And I was going to go to medical school, and I discovered I liked mountain biking more than I did studying. And I had this grand scheme of like, oh man, I can move out to Boulder, be a mountain bike racer, and work in biotech. And so I drove my car from grad school out to Boulder, Colorado, did that. Did biotech for about 5 years, discovered pipetting DNA, which is really what I did. Wasn't at near as fun as coaching people. And that was like when power meters came along, and I was like, I'm going to use this to help me get faster and compete. I never was training full time. I was always working and, training during like lunch or after work. And I was like, I was convinced like power-based training is going to help me beat the guys that were training full time, and didn't quite get there. And I did like a year of training full time when I wasn't working. And it was during that time I was like, I want to be a coach. I'm going to help people learn how to use this just like I am. And I found out I was better at teaching people than I was actually making myself faster. And so yeah, that's how I got started in coaching. I've been a full-time cycling coach since 2004, May of 2004.
That's great. And so, when we were talking about it earlier in the pre-production meeting, which was very thorough, it was when we were talking about like we didn't know what was going on necessarily back then. I mean, the coaching or cycling 25 years ago was kind of a dark art, or not a dark art, but like it was like something that only the pros had, I guess. At least that's kind of how I perceived it. And I've been mountain biking since '92. But it's been, and I don't even know the math on that. Josh, he'll run the numbers and get back to us. But it's so that was really cool. And using the power meter, that's really interesting. Using data to inform your decisions and everything. And can you tell us what was your first power meter? Was it a hub based thing, or?
It was an SRM.
Okay.
And I bought it from Germany, and the dollar. It was cheaper to buy it from Germany because the dollar went further than buying it in the United States at the time.
Wow.
So I went to srm.de and ordered it online, and it came a couple of weeks later. And I got my mechanic friend to put it on the bike, and you download the data, and you're like, "What am I looking at?" Gobbledygook, clueless. And I called a couple of my friends I called like Alan Lim, who was getting his graduate degree at the University of Colorado. I just talked to as many people as I could, attended USA Cycling coaching clinics, and went to seminars from like Dr. Andy Coggan and Hunter Allen and, all the smart folks down at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, and kind of just had to figure it out myself. This is like before Training Peaks, this is before WKO.
Wow. Yeah.
Each SRM software wasn't very good. PowerTap had their software, and it could do a little bit, but not too much. So it was very much like, I'm gonna find out what this average power was and write it down on a notepad, and
wow,
things like that.
Come a long way since then.
Sure.
Yeah, really. And was that, I don't want to digress too far into this, but how did you get the data off? Was it wireless, or did you have to plug something in, or?
Oh, back then everything was wired. There was no such thing as wireless. So, the magnets. So the SRM, you had to have a magnet, a Nichols width from the back of the crank, and if that magnet slid or whatever, or like fell off, that you drop data. Done.
Oh my gosh.
So and it would also pick up like grime from the road, like magnetic rocks and grime, and you'd have to clean it off ever so often. But anyway, it was a harness called a harness, and you had to put that magnet to the back of your crank, and run it up the down tube around the stem, and then you plugged in the little connector to the back of the power control. And then when you got done with the ride, you had to undo the harness and then bring it to your computer and plug it into the like adapter. And we had all sorts of different adapters to download the power data. It was very rudimentary. I mean, nowadays you take for granted, like just hit the stop button, it's like up on the cloud everywhere.
Yeah, and I also complained about the fact that we have like micro USB to USB-C to all the other ones. When back then it would have been a serial port to a COM
serial
port
adapters.
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
Getting the data was a real thing. We had athletes that would like bring us their computer. They couldn't even like download or email it. It was like, just here, coach, here's my computer. Download a week's worth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, and then what about for what mountain bike was what was your what were you racing on back then?
Oh yeah, so I got on the Schwinn homegrown team.
Oh, nice.
Out of Boulder, Schwinn being a Boulder company, and I met some guys over there, and I rode on their factory team in, I'm not going to get these dates right, but like 99, 2000.
Yeah, right.
And then I rode for a specialized team called the Nantucket Nectars, and that juice.
That's a sweet name, though.
Yeah.
So
from the juice,
I rode for them in 01, and then I rode for Richie in 02, and in 03, I became a road biker. So I was mountain biking. I was like semi-professional. I was going to turn pro, and I go to what's the place in Alpine Valley in Wisconsin, Norman National there, and I'm pre-riding the course, and I just endoed, and I put my hand down right on a baby head rock, and I just folded over the metacarpals in my hand, and that was all she wrote for the rest of the season, because like you couldn't put your hand around the handlebar. But meanwhile, you're like, Justin's
sorry.
But meanwhile, man, I was like ripping good form. This is like June of 2022. I rode the trainer for 3 weeks, and then I went outside and I rode the bike one-handed for another month, and I put my hand up against my chest while I rode, and I was very careful to ride in safe places and all that. And then I went to Super Week, like the least safe race there is, and I managed not to crash. But I became a road biker then. That was like when Lance was like killing it, and everyone wanted to be like Lance, and road biking was really booming, and I became a road biker from there. I was better at road biking than I was mountain biking. So, and that's how it happened.
Oh, it's that huge engine and everything that you have as a mountain biker, right? I think that helps. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a good time trialist, because you're used to time trialing for 2 hours in a mountain bike race. Right.
Yes. I know I am, because I get dropped and I have to sit there and just chase everybody the whole time. But that's going to change this summer now. Yeah, this summer.
There you go.
And by the way, I've got my Ritchie P29s hanging up over here. So yeah, Ritchie's.
Oh, cool.
I have a soft spot for Ritchie's, man. I love them. Absolutely.
Yeah. Great bikes.
Yeah. So you converted to a mountain biker, road biker, and everything, and then you're helping other people coach and stuff. This is fantastic. All right. So let's talk about how you got into FasCat then, and how that kind of came about. Was that just yeah. Well, you go ahead, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so it's 2003. I'm racing and training full time, doing the National Road Calendar series, like Redlands and races like that, Gila. And what I discovered is when you're not racing, you're just sitting around. You're pretty bored. And I was like, that's when I hatched the idea to become a coach. And I had a lot of time to do it because, you don't like ride all day, like you go to work all day. So I was very used to being productive for 8-10 hours a day. So I built a website, and no one came to it. No one. I put my phone number right there and no one called me. No one emailed me. And I figured out I need to write a training tip, and I got it published on a Cycling Media's website, and I put my contact information at the bottom of it, and someone called me and someone hired me. And so I kept writing training tips, and I that's how I discovered the value of content marketing. But the first training tip I wrote was how to do the right way and the wrong way to do your intervals with an SRM power meter. And it was describing the difference between doing heart rate based intervals and power based intervals. And because when I got a power meter, I realized I've been doing my intervals all wrong. I was going out way too hard to get my heart rate up as soon as I could to be in the zone.
Right.
And then, I died 1,000 deaths, hanging on to the interval. And as soon as I got a power meter, you could see that you don't need to go as hard. And that was what the training tip was about. And someone hired me, and, the rest is history, so to speak. I mean, it wasn't like I had overnight success. I had that whole year to get enough people to hire me to not have to go back to work. And it didn't really happen. Maybe 4 people hired me. And so then I had to go take another job back in biotech. And lo and behold, a couple months taking that new job, then the coaching took off. And now I had 2 jobs.
Oh, man.
And I didn't have any time to ride.
Right.
And so, and then we had my first daughter on the way. And then I really didn't have time to ride. So I told my wife, I was like, I think I'm going to quit the real job and do the fun job. And she didn't bat an eyelash. And
that's great.
as soon as I quit the real job, I
thought this was going in a different direction.
Yeah, me too.
I know, right? I was to say something else. But no, man, I had all this time to coach, and it turned out to be good timing, and a lot more people hired me. And then within a matter of months, I was easily making what I was from coaching is what I was making from the real job, and obviously enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah, that is awesome. And wow, that's great. That's a good story too, man. Is that on the website too? That should be on the website somewhere. About us.
I haven't really. Maybe I've written it a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys. So y'all are podcasting. You'll get this. I mean, we've been podcasting for 5 years, and I think when we had our 20-year anniversary 2 years ago. And, we kind of told these stories, but I probably haven't written it up anywhere. But I would say just go back and listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I essentially just retold it, though.
Yeah. Well, and we'll definitely leave a link to your podcast as well on here too as well. So thanks for that too. So we'll get that on there. And I know for me, I've heard of FasCat before, but then what really sparked my interest is I've been wanting to get faster, and I know the way to get faster is to do structured training. And I mean, because I race a lot too, and I was kind of hitting a plateau, not really doing much, and I always feel good when I get out and we have a spring race in May, and so I was like, I'm gonna destroy it. And and then this year I got dropped so hard that I was like, something's got to change. And it was of course it was bucketing down rain, it was freezing, yada yada yada. Sorry, that's the second time I've said that, I think, but I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately. But anyway, and I was like, I got to get faster. I think I got to get a coach. And I was talking to my wife about it, and and like, I gotta do something. And I was doing a similar thing with like looking at all my data, using my Garmin, using my, Strava, trying to figure all this stuff out. And I just cannot get to it. I don't have that mindset, I guess, enough for that. And then the Zwift Insider article comes up about how FasCat and Zwift are getting together, and I started reading through this thing, and I'm like, well, this is really interesting, and it has an AI coach, and that's affordable too. And I'm like, I was talking to my wife, like, well, maybe I should just give it a try. What do you think? And she's like, I don't care, just stop talking about it. No, she wasn't like that. She's amazing. I don't know if she can hear me now, but yeah, anyway, she's amazing. But so she's like, yeah, we should do that. So how did you guys train this AI coach? And are you, I guess, because I'm on the Coach Cat plan with the AI plan. Yeah. And do you have more people doing that now, or is it more one-on-one coaching, or how is that going, I guess, or how does it start?
Yeah. So FasCat gives you two ways to ride faster. So we have the AI coaching, which you're doing, and then we have our one-on-one coaching. And so we have a team of expert coaches. They've all been professional racers. They all went to school for exercise physiology or exercise science, and they all have experience as well. So it's like a triple win. And it really just kind of depends on how much coaching you want and what you're comfortable with. And so I've been coaching for a long time, and the problem with coaching is that it's kind of expensive. It's like a car payment. And when budgets get tightened and things, the first thing you're going to want to do is like get rid of that car payment. And so that's been a challenge in the coaching business. And so in 2017, we started selling digital training plans, 6-week digital training plans. When we put together like a whole training plan library, and when I started selling those, it was pretty awesome because like people that previously hadn't reached out to us, now they were, because it was a lot more affordable. And now the problem with the training plan is what happens when you can't follow the training plan. Like when life punches you in the face and like you got to work, or it's blizzarding, or you get sick or injured, or you change your mind about a goal, or whatever, you got to go to soccer practice. So when AI came along, it was a perfect use case for, we got all this data, we have all these training plans, we have all this like knowledge of training tips and blogs and videos and podcasts we've accumulated over the years. It's like, let's build this data set and let's feed it into the AI and let it come back with, let's train it on how to be a coach and how to take your data from your wearable device and your Zwift, your smart trainer, your Garmin, your power meter, and how to analyze it for you just like I would. But when you hire me as a coach and you do your ride on Saturday, even if it was the best ride ever and I was really engaged with it, I still wouldn't get back to you until Monday, because I'm not working on Saturday, I'm not working on Sunday. Meanwhile, that's been like 48 hours, and all the fun and the emotion of how well you did on that ride or that race kind of like it just dispels. And but so the AI is great because you get that analysis and that feedback from the coach right away. As soon as you press stop, you're still at the coffee shop, you're still with your buddies, and you're like, you're reading about like if your FTP went up, or if you did some PRs, or like just really like how you did on your ride, just like you would from a coach, and but instantly and a lot more affordable. So that's kind of how the AI coaching works. And then also like just from selling those plans over the years, we kind of we did like customer service. So like we were like, write into us anytime you have a problem or need questions. And we would do podcasts about this. And what we noticed as a trend is people would just be like, well, I got this plan and I started and I got 3 weeks into it and this happened and that happened. And, we would give them coaching advice about here's how you rearrange the workouts and do this and do that. But yet we can tell the AI that what we call Coach Cat to give that back to you in a text format. So, you could, write into Coach Cat today, like, I don't feel well. I don't think I'm gonna be able to work out tomorrow. What should I do? And you're going to get information back that's common sense, like rest, don't try to force the workout, and maybe move that workout to the next day when you feel better. And that's what we noticed over the years from the training plan. So it's kind of like we call it an AI coach. And because I used to be a molecular biologist, I would clone things. I like cloned E. coli.
Oh.
And so now I joke, I'm like, I've cloned myself and put it into CoachCat. And that's kind of the truth there. Yeah. So it's kind of like, the way I coach into this AI.
We've come a long way since give me your computer for a week and download stuff for a week.
Well, also like we used to do training plans on Microsoft Word calendars and send them as email attachments. Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. Yeah. I'm just, I'm remembering a lot of that stuff. Wow, that's great. And so then talking about the plans then, is it still coaches that are designing the plans, or because I've asked Coach Cat to modify some plans too, and he, she, the entity, whatever, Coach Cat has changed them. I don't know if they've reselected a new one, or do they, like if I ask Coach Cat, I can't do 2 hours, is there any way you can make this 45 minutes or something? I mean, Coach Cat can do that, but yeah, okay. And go ahead. Sorry.
I think what you were asking is, are the plans AI designed or coach designed? So to this date, so when we designed these plans in 2017, I designed them, some of the other coaches designed them, and we, the more questions we got from athletes, we would refine the plans based on their feedback and their questions to make it more clear, to make them more doable, or just to generally work better. And so we did that for 7 years. And we got the plans, so they're like really good. Like if we can get the athlete to tell us how much time they have to train per week and what they're training for, we know exactly what plans to recommend to them. And so to this date, we humans are better than AI. I wouldn't trust the AI at this point to design a plan better than what we've done so far. I think as AI improves and gets better, and as we develop it, eventually will get to the point where the AI is taking the plans that we have designed and just customizing them more and more and more. Like you mentioned, you couldn't ride 2 hours, you could ride 45, and you would be able to like specify that in advance, or the AI would ask you, do you have 2 hours today? But like as far as like the physiological principles that go into the plans, we're really satisfied with what we've got so far.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think all the ones I've been doing I can feel them working. I got an email from you or from Coach Cat, I'm not sure, but it said, "Do you feel faster?" And that question just kept resonating in my head. Yes, I do feel faster, and I am faster. I mean, I know it's all in Zwift right now because it's winter, but I will be faster. I'm going to beat those guys up our local climb. We have a 5:30 a.m. Ride, and I'm not going to be the last person up the hill.
There you go.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that. And they're gonna be buying me coffee. But
That's
anyway.
right. Well, so the origin of that question, do you feel faster? Like in our podcast, I joke, like if you listen closely, you should be able to feel yourself getting faster. Yeah. But it's a real question because one of the things that's happened in the past 20 years is we've gotten too data obsessed, and we're numbers driven, and that's we love that. I'm very data driven myself. However, it's like, how are you feeling about your cycling? I mean, like, do you just feel faster? Like, there's more to it than your FTP. Obviously, FTP is a big proponent of your improvement, but like, can you do 5 hours faster than cover more miles in 5 hours than you could than 4 months ago? Like, is your endurance improved? Has your stamina, has your durability? Is your 5-minute power better than it was? So that's kind of like where we're coming from on that. And it could also be like, have you been doing better at your recovery? Have you been eating better? Have you been sleeping more? Have you been balancing your training and your stress? And so like you generally feel good when you do your workouts. That's kind of what we're talking about as well.
Yeah, I got to say that is also a big thing. I have a Garmin watch, and it takes my HRV all night when I wear it and everything.
Mhm.
And using that to help inform like I know when I before I had this a sleep tracking thing, I thought, well, how do I care about what I slept like? I know I didn't sleep well, so my next day is going to be not so good or something. But having the number associated with it, and then my freshness score that's taking care of, or my optimization score, how that is taking like all my training load and everything in there, that does help me feel better, and it does help inform, like instead of pushing myself on the trainer, I'm going to take a day off or something, and I'll ask
Yes.
Coach Cat, and Coach Cat has never once told me I am displeased with you, but you know, I haven't heard that yet. But
That's by design. We are working
yeah.
on personas,
Yeah.
and I'll let you know on a fun trick. So if you say, "Hey, Coach Cat, can you give me some tough love?" It will do that, and you can say, "Hey, you mentioned you like Seinfeld. You can
Yes.
say, hey, give me feedback like Jerry Seinfeld," and it'll give it. It's hilarious, and you can get it like Larry David if you're Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
whatever comedian you want. But like some athletes, that you're like, can you just be more harsh or like kick my butt? And so we're working on that to give like different personas depending on what you want. Maybe you
Yeah.
need love, maybe you need a hug,
Yeah.
depending on where
Well,
you're at. But yeah, that's definitely something to be developed.
Well, I thought it's been great. I am not a person that responds well to being yelled at. So
Right.
so that helps out. And I got to say that I even asked Coach Cat. I know, Josh, I'm talking way too much. I'm sorry. Josh has to get
It's
in here
okay.
too. But the whole thing about and I shared this with the listeners, I think last week or something. I had a saddle sore, and I was dealing with that, and I asked Coach Cat, like, what should I ride today and just tough it out or something. I can't remember exactly what Coach Cat said, but it told me basically to take the day off, and like gave me some tips on what to do with it, and that was great. So that made me feel better, and then like yeah, there's I've got a lot of good things to say, but let's keep going here. Now, let's talk about the importance of structured training, and let's talk about Josh for a little bit here, because he is a YouTube sensation, and Josh, he has, I mean, you can't see it now because he's wearing a hat, but he's got like perfect hair, and and it's always in place. I don't know how he does it every race when you're racing, man. It's like always in place. Anyway. So, can we talk about Josh and like how he could be improved? Could you possibly sell him on structured training?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do a Josh use case.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
because
Right
as
right now.
as
An
as
intervention.
someone who I mean, we talked in the pre-show, right? I do way too much racing. I already know that. I've contemplated doing some type of structured training and or coaching before.
Mhm.
For people who may be in similar positions as I am, kind of on the fence about it, like what kind of advice or selling points would you kind of spin as coaching?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, like just knowing that you race 3 days in a row, I will really use that as a wedge because this is an easy one. This is a layup.
Yeah.
I mean, what we do as coaches, a lot of times it goes untalked about. We tell you to not ride and rest. And, I would say, Josh, what's your most important race of the whole week? Let's focus on that one. You might say Tuesday, and I would be like, okay, let's take Sunday off. Let's do some openers on Monday, and let's see if you feel so good on Tuesday because you took that Sunday off, and let's use that, for positive motivation. But I would also know like what days you work, and when's your days that you're not working, and because generally the way we structured training is this. I call it a working man and woman's training plan design. So we assume, you got a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays, Sundays are off days, and that's when you can do your longer rides. So we generally do longer endurance rides, harder on Saturday, less hard on Sunday. So like sweet spot Saturday, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and then zone 2 on Sundays, a little bit shorter, hour and a half, 2, 3 hours, off on Monday, and then short structured workouts on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off again on Friday. Believe it or not, 2 off days per week, even for pros. So I coach Phil Gaiman. He just got the KOM up Haleakala in Maui on
Wow.
Monday.
Wow.
I have Phil take 2 days off per week. And he's like, trained world tour level and, doing 18 to 30-hour weeks. And we still take 2 days off per week. And so I would impress upon that to you, first of all. And then if you got on a plan, it would say Monday, Friday off. And then you would be doing some hard intervals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, generally, Wednesday is going to be hard intervals. Thursday is not as hard. And then Saturday is not even intervals, just like endurance work. Because endurance is really important. You gotta balance out the hard stuff with your endurance. And that's like the benefit of structured training. And we also take the guesswork out of it. So like you're never wondering what to do. It's like you go to bed at night knowing what you're supposed to do the next day. And a lot of athletes really report that makes it lowers their anxiety about what they should be doing. And then there's a lot of athletes that report back they like the accountability. And the other thing that we do is we track your consistency. And that's like the most important thing. So if you're consistent, if you miss a workout here and there, that's not going to really matter in the big grand scheme of things. It's like, are you consistent this year or this winter? And so, that's what a training plan will help you do. And then another thing we do, we give you rest weeks. When was the last time you took a rest week? So, I don't even know how old you are. You look pretty young, but even young people need rest weeks. And so
Yep.
And the cool thing about a rest week is when you take it, you should feel like King Kong afterwards. And so then you go and do one of your races and you beat that guy that you said won. What was his name? Lewis?
Yeah, Lewis. Oh,
you beat Lewis. And so
Yeah.
that's the benefit of structured training.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you described it as layup, and it's like, oh, I totally know it's a layup too, and I know, like, obviously, I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that you probably shouldn't race, 3-4 days in a row. It's probably not great for recovery. It's not really doing anything positive for you in the long term. At that point, you're not really getting much benefit out of it, but I think where coaching would be probably useful for someone like me is to have that voice in the ear that says, maybe don't do that. Someone other than my own self kind of overcommitting to multiple races a week. So
yeah. Well, two things about that. So first of all, racing is fun, and that's really important. And we're big proponents of fun. And when the training is fun, it's going to be sustainable. And when it's sustainable, you're going to improve over the long term. That's really, really important. Group rides are fun. And so we're big proponents of group rides too, especially in the summer when you have your club rides. Like Dustin, you talked about, beating your buds at 5:30 in the morning. And that's what it's all about right there. Now, the second thing that we have is we have this thing called FTFP. And I know we're not supposed to curse and I won't, but it's FTFP stands for follow the plan.
Yeah.
And the way that this came about is when, back when we were doing those training plans, athletes would write in. We had like a really good private Facebook group going on back then. And they would write an essay. And then one other athlete was like, why don't you just try following the plan? And it kind of caught on, like other people piled on. And then next thing you know, FTFP was a thing. I didn't even really create it. It's just like, I recognized it. And so when people were describing their problems, we were like, well, you're kind of digging your own grave. It's like, just try following the plan and it's all going to work out. So, but that's like, when we hold, like, if I were to coach you one-on-one and you'd be like, coach, tell me what to do. And I would tell you what to do. And then if you didn't do it, I'd be like, what's going on?
What are you paying me for?
Yeah. What are you paying me for? You're not following the plan. But now we can just say FTFP and it's fun.
Yeah. And, I do, it does give some perspective because, when I did a marathon, 2 years ago, I followed structured training program to a T, got the exact time I wanted. So, go figure. You pay for a plan, you pay for coaching, good things can happen if you follow the insert word here plan.
Yes. Well, and so that's the other thing. It's like we're also trying to make coaching more accessible to all, and especially with AI technology. And there's no reason why you can't get coaching at an affordable price with the technology there is that we're developing, today. And it also, you can train like really serious, like Tom Pidcock serious, or you can train like I'm having fun serious. And yeah. So that's what like a good coach will do is like, I've coached people training for like world championships and the Olympics, and the way that style of coaching is much different than, the everyday athlete that's just, they want to beat their friends on the group ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely that. Yeah, the fun, not the. I'm not getting to the Olympics unless I buy a ticket. But yeah, oh man, that's awesome. See, Josh. So when are you going to sign up? Is there a refer a friend thing where I can get a free month if I refer him? Is there?
Yeah.
All right,
not-
there we go.
Not for Dustin.
We'll do it up for you.
No,
Yeah.
Also, the first month is free, no credit card required. So you can start a free trial, test it out, and then we'll get Dustin a referral fee.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I signed up for it. I just paid for it because I wanted to do it, and this is awesome. So I've definitely and also can we talk about the there's a couple other things I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but can we talk about the winning in the kitchen and this idea of the meal plans and all this stuff? Would you mind just touching on that too, please?
Yeah. So winning in the kitchen is performance nutrition. What we have learned over the years is, 80% of weight loss and performance nutrition occurs in the kitchen, and whereas 20% occurs on the bike. And so a lot of you can't outrun a bad diet. You can't out-train a bad diet. And so really what we emphasize with winning in the kitchen, it's not really about dieting. It's just about like great food choices, healthy, sustainable food choices. So what it is, it's there's 5 food groups as the way the winning in the kitchen goes. It's lean proteins. It's healthy, complex, rich carbohydrates. It's having healthy fats. It's having greens. It's having vegetables. And the way that we design the winning in the kitchen meal plans is that, it's the healthy food choices. And we also say you got to win in the grocery store. So like what you bring home winds up coming in your mouth. So you got to talk with the spouse who does the shopping, and we have grocery lists, and it's like, there's go slow food, there's go fast food. And we all know what it is. It's really common sense. It's like,
Not the Twinkies.
Yeah, I know. I have Twinkies on my list. That I can't get the
Twinkies is not on the grocery list.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Yeah. But I mean, also like, there's like winning in the kitchen has like some just basic principles that if you begin to do, if you're not doing already, you have like a lot to look forward to. So it's eliminating soda, cut back on alcohol, a lot of empty calories in there, and then getting added sugar out of your diet. And so I'm a sugar detective. If you look on, you got to be a sugar detective when you buy your food. Look on the back of the package, and if it has added sugar, just put it back on the shelf and find the non-added sugar alternative. The added sugar is like horrendous for your diet, and it's like responsible for all the obesity and health problems in the United States right now. But it also emphasizes, this is just what your mom said growing up: eat your vegetables. And none of us are good at eating vegetables. And just this morning, and I'm not good at eating my vegetables, but we have this like smoothie recipe in there. And it's like a wad of spinach, a little bit of broccoli, some raspberry, bananas, then all the yummy stuff. But if you turns out if you blend all that spinach and broccoli up and you mix it with banana and raspberry, it tastes pretty good. So it's like all the recipes, you don't need to be Julia Childs. They take 10 minutes or less, a lot of food prep. It's just basic bike racer nutrition and really heavy. I mean, it's like 70% carbs, 15%, fat and protein. And yeah, I love it. And it's not like, we write out meal plans. So we have an introductory winning in the kitchen meal plan that teaches you how to shop and how to prepare the food. And then we move you on to a weight loss meal plan. It's based on your age, your gender, how much you're training per week. And then the recipes are actually scientifically formulated to undercut your caloric expenditure on a per day basis. So that it's like you're going to lose like 1 to 2 pounds per week. But yeah, we just kind of teach you how to cook and shop and think about your diet. And once you learn it, we have like 30 recipes, but you can apply the winning in the kitchen plan for just about anything you want to cook up. And so that's the other thing we say is like, you got to stop going out to eat, guys, because you get lazy and, you go get
we do a lot of meal prep in this house. So
meal prep is the way to go. It's grocery list and went in the grocery store, meal prep. Like we call it meal prep Monday. And, you meal prep on Monday, but then you got all your lunches for the rest of the week. You got to, one of the adages of the winning in the kitchen is you got to get yourself a killer set of Tupperware.
Mm-hmm.
So you put all your meal prep in your killer set of Tupperware for the rest of the week. And then you meal prep again on Friday for your big rides and all that stuff.
Man, yeah, that's good. And I know we're getting close on time here, but real quick, and we appreciate this so much, Frank, Coach Frank.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can we talk about yoga too and how that plays a role into this too? And
absolutely.
And we've got just a few more questions after that.
Yeah.
But so I've been
here's the
enjoying
deal.
that.
Here's the deal with yoga. I'm from Boulder, so yoga is like pretty popular, and you take it for granted if you go to Atlanta and they're like, yoga, what? Not to pick on Atlanta, but when I first got introduced to yoga at my health club, when I was like lifting weights in the winter, I was a mountain biker, and you do a lot of, so there's a couple benefits, there's multiple benefits, but let me just talk to you about the yoga benefits as a cyclist, as a bike handler. So you're doing a lot of one-legged exercises. You pick up a lot of balance and core strength. And I noticed I became a better bike handler from doing yoga. Mm-hmm. So there's that. That's good. And then there's obviously the stretching, that's injury prevention, flexibility, core strength. You got that. And then, when's the last time you didn't look at your phone for a whole hour? You got that if you go do a yoga class. Mm-hmm. Well, if you go do it in person. Mm-hmm. So you got that. So the mindfulness and the breath work. One of the things I learned from yoga is how to go to sleep better, just to calm your mind and actually go to sleep without letting like your mind race at night. Yeah. And then guess what? From the breath work you do in yoga, when you're doing VO2 max intervals or threshold intervals and you're going really hard, if you can get yourself to just relax your shoulders, concentrate on your breathing. If we always joke, if you can flap your arms like a chicken while you're doing VO2s, you're doing it right. And so I learned that through yoga. And we recommend you do yoga on Mondays and Fridays. We pass that along. It's on all of our training plans. We give you a free Yoga Glow membership as a part of your plan. And if we could just pass on one of those things I just mentioned, we think it's going to help your cycling. It's going to improve your life. And that's kind of where we're coming from with the yoga.
Yeah, it's awesome. I even feel it like I can feel it like the Dr. Goodman's workouts and stuff, the things we have to do that. Oh man, that's just it's incredible.
Do this every day, no back pain ever.
Yeah, and I can definitely feel that. So that's really cool. I can't believe Josh is already sold. He's starting to enter. I can see his credit card putting it in there. Oh, you don't have to put your credit card in there, man. The first month's
no
free.
credit card required.
Yeah, that's excellent. So, all right. So we just have a couple more questions here. So, this was submitted by somebody. So, how come there is no T in FasCat and it wouldn't be making it FasCat?
Yeah. I love this. We get this all the time.
I'm sure.
So let me give you the origin of FasCat. So I'm sure you're familiar with the 70s. Like he was a cool cat, you know? And so when I was coming up in the mountain bike, like racing, some of my friends started calling me Fast Frank, mountain biker. And so Fast Frank. And so when I decided to start a coaching company, I was reading about like branding and logos and like, I didn't want to call myself a training system. And, my nickname was Fast Frank. And then simultaneously I was like, oh, there's a cheetah, fastest land mammal in the world. I want to be like a cheetah. Yeah. And like I had also, sports psychology, animal imagery, and you imagine yourself running super fast like a cheetah. I'd done that too. And so it kind of all came together, became FasCat, cheetah, fastest land mammal in the world, Fast Frank. And the way I wanted to say it, it was so fast, we didn't want to pronounce the T. So fast, not fast
Yeah.
cat.
Fast
So anyway, it was like cool cat. And
yeah.
so, and then there might
And you
have
get
been,
people talking about it.
Yeah,
too.
right. Yeah, it sticks in your head. Yeah, it sticks in your head.
Yeah. And I think back then that was like where domain, you got to register for your domain. I think
Yeah.
fast with a T cat may have been claimed. I need to
Uh,
go back and see if that was true.
It's probably all cat videos or something. Anyway, that's really funny. Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay, and then the other thing I just want to ask about, where do you see FasCat going in the future? Or FasCat. Oh my gosh, I said FasCat, but FasCat. Yeah.
FasCat. Yeah. Yeah. Our vision is to make training more fun, more flexible, and as effective as you want it to be. We want to make coaching as accessible to all or anyone that wants to improve. So that's our mission. And we aim to make the software, it feels like we just got started, and we aim to make the software do everything that everyone wants to do with it, with all their data. It's the one place they can come to, they can get a training plan, get coaching, send all their data and get personal, actionable insight from it. And so, we integrate with Zwift. We see that is, super way to train and have fun. I call it the atomic habit, training indoors, which is, I think is really, really important. But, where we see FasCat is just becoming, more technologically advanced. We have a big product roadmap for the AI to be able to do more things that I do, like adaptive coaching, memory and learning is coming up real fast with AI. I mean, you can't, turn on the news or and not read anything about AI, and we're definitely here for it. And we're looking forward to the future.
Oh man, this is awesome. Oh man, well I know we could probably talk for a couple hours about this, and we want to be respectful of your time. We are so thankful for you doing this, Coach Frank. We definitely we'll put a link on there about the Saturday group ride, as well as the FasCat website and everything if people don't know about it, and the Discord too. We'll add that on there as well. So this has just been great. Josh, are you sold? What do you think?
I may give this a try now.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be good. We're gonna see you
Give it
bump
a
up
shot.
because
Give it a shot.
you want to get up to Emerald, right? So this is
Yep.
you're almost there. You're almost there. So yeah, oh, it's gonna be great. So
once you sign up, Josh, so you can ask Coach Cat anything, anytime, on demand. But we also are big on customer service. So if you hit the chat box in the upper right, you can get myself or my team of coaches anytime. And so you can get a real human. And then one thing that we are really big on is what we call a complimentary coaching call. And so you can schedule that. It's included. And you can talk with a coach for 30 minutes. It's like a call to coaching consultation. We can talk about your goals and dial in your training, get you on the right training plans, and talk with you, through,
Not race so much. Yeah.
Yeah, not race so much. Yeah. Maybe take a rest day. Yeah, stuff like that.
oh man, that's gonna be awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be unleashing the inner cat here. I know we're both dog people too, but that's okay. Yeah,
I love animals. We have a dog too.
Yeah, same. So, all right. Well, thank you, Coach Frank. Thank you, Josh. And thank you to everybody for listening this week and every week. We're really appreciative of this, and we appreciate everyone listening to us each week. And please join the Watopian Weekly Zwift Club and our Discord server, and send us a message or send us recipes or things that feedback on the episodes and everything. We're all open to that. And also, you can always email us at WatopianWeekly@gmail.com, and someone on staff will get back to you in 24 to 72 to 124 hours. And again, thank you again to everybody listening, and thank you to Coach Frank and to Josh. And we'll see you all in Watopia.
Right on.